Welcome to Nate on Guitar. I'm going to talk about 5 or 6 different chords that are commonly used in the key of C major that you're probably familiar with. For example, C, G, or this version of a G, A minor, that's your relative minor in the key of C major, F, or there's a lot of cool versions of F chords down here that are really fun and sound great, as well as D minor, and sometimes like an E over C, or sorry, C over E chord where you got an E in the bass note. So I'm going to show you a new position to play those in. So check this out. We are going to slide up the neck, and much like in my other videos, I'm going to show you some chords that you don't have to move very far to be able to reach them all. They're all very close together. It's like a cluster of chords that can sound absolutely gorgeous. So the very first one, our root chord that I'm going to show you here, is a C chord that exists up here on the 8th, 9th, and 10th frets. So basically what it is a C bar chord, but broken down a little bit, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to replace the bass note where our index finger was, make our thumb do it, and the only difference is that we're going to have this high E string ring out openly. So our index finger is going to be holding the 8th fret on the B string, middle finger on the 9th fret of the G, pinky and ring fingers on the 10th fret of the D and A strings, thumb holding that bass note, like we said, 8th fret of the low E. Great sounding chord. Not all that different from this C chord down here. But what this does, it allows a couple different voicings. Let's take the pinky off of this note here, and our ring finger is going to naturally mute this D string. Now we're going to use our pinky to raise the note on the G string from the 8th or 9th fret up to the 10th fret. So that's our C chord. To play our A minor chord, what we're going to do, our thumb's going to basically stay in the same spot but not grab anymore, just mute the low E string, and we're going to let our open A string be the bass note. These 3 notes are going to stay consistent. The index finger still on the 8th fret of the B, middle finger 9th fret of the G, and our ring finger is going to play on the 10th fret of the D string, and the high E is going to ring out. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, that high E is going to ring out on every single chord that we go through here, so that note stays consistent. And once again, we can use our pinky to raise that G string note from the 9th to the 10th fret. So far we've got our C, A minor. Now G, you got a lot of options for G. The most straightforward version of the G would be to play with the thumb muting the low E string. The 10th fret on the A string becomes your bass note. That's G note right there. Middle finger on the 9th fret of the D, open G. This index finger staying consistent on the 8th fret of the B, and open high E. Or pinky down on the 10th fret of the high E string. What I find, actually, instead of this version, what I usually do, it's a little bit of a stretch, but try this. C, A minor. I really like this voicing of a G. We're going to play that G bass note, but we're going to play right next to it on the D string, 10th fret. We're going to stretch down with our index finger to the 7th fret of the G string. Played by itself, it sounds all right. In context, though, it sounds really cool. Switching to it from the A minor. And to vary it up, you can pick the pinky up and use your middle finger on the 9th fret of the D, 1 fret below where the pinky was at. now to play our F chord, which is the fourth chord of the scale. I'll go back through them again with the numbers, just stand by. We're going to play an F like this. 8th fret, index finger on the A string, pinky, 10th fret D string, ring finger, 9th fret of the G, middle finger, 8th fret of the B string, open high E, thumb muting that low string. This is going to feel a little bit cramped on your fingers if you haven't tried a position quite like this before, but it sounds very nice. So far we've got C, vary it up with the pinky note, A minor, you can change that same higher note there, G, and F. Now for a D minor, we're going to raise the bass note from our C chord up a whole step with our middle finger. Our ring and pinky are going to play on the 10th fret of the D and G strings, and our index finger is going to stay on the 8th fret of the B. All in all, that's one of my favorite chords I've ever heard on guitar. I'm obsessed with how this chord sounds. Got some dissonance in there, just very pleasing intervals and note combination there. Doesn't that sound a lot more interesting than this D minor? But, you know, there's a million different voicings of every chord on the guitar, so you find what sounds best to you. This is one that maybe you haven't heard of. So as far as the Nashville numbers, or the numbers associated with the chords, theory-wise, your root chord's your 1, D minor will be your 2, your minor 2, A minor will be your 6, your relative minor, G is your 5, and here is your F, your 4 chord. So practice changing in between each of these chords. Don't just play them in one order. Try going from your A minor to your F, from your D minor to your F, to your G, C, F, G, C, F. Anyway, I love playing in the key of C using these particular voicings. They sound fantastic, especially if you're playing along with somebody else and they're sticking to these standard open chords that, you know, people have been using for generations. There's nothing wrong with those chords. Those are great. Pair them with some different voicings and you'll bring a whole new texture to what you play. So anyway, some of those positions are a little challenging, so take your time and stick with it. And I hope those are useful, and I will see you on the next video.